What's up with it, Raider Nation? It's your boy, Raider Honcho, and I'm back with a brand new video for you. Alright guys, let's get right into it, man. I just watched the press conference with Dave Ziegler, you know, the Raiders' new GM, and obviously most of us fans out here love all the moves they've been making in the front office. It feels like the culture is different around the building, and with the draft only a few nights away, man, we're like a week away from the draft. I'm starting to get really excited, man. Watch the press conference today, and some of the things that stood out to me just pertaining to the draft. There's a couple of things I wanted to get into and just give my reaction to. And, you know, I want you guys to get down in the comments and let me know what you think. If you like Raiders content, think about subscribing to the channel. So, first and foremost, the thing I really like about Dave and what he talks about in this press conference is just the language he uses, right? Just the verbiage, just the way he breaks certain things down. And when they asked him a question about, well, what is it different in New England now when it comes to drafting and what your team needs and stuff like that, he says really the bigger focus was on the education of the actual drafting philosophy. And if you guys don't know what that means, is that every team has a certain philosophy when it comes to drafting players. Just like as a head coach or a position coach or a coordinator, when it comes to football or any other sports, you have a certain philosophy of how you want to conduct things, how you're looking for things, how you grade things, how you recruit things, how you scout things, and so on. So when I hear Dave talking about, and I'm going to call him Dave because I hate saying Ziegler, Twizzler, all that shit. So when you talk about the education of the philosophy, it lets me know that they're breaking this whole thing down, taking a wide lens view of what really needs to be done. So they're going to teach the entire staff of how we want to go about our draft process, and I really love that. Now, when he was asked about the question, what do you look for in a player in the draft, and he said it's the type of person they are, and I was like, oh Lord, here we go with the character talk again. But when he broke it down, it made sense. Okay, this guy has to be a passionate person, has to be a passionate football player. And why that is so important is because sometimes you'll have a kid that's super gifted, super talented, but they're not at all as passionate as somebody who might be less talented. And you want somebody that's going to have that passion, somebody who really wants to eat, sleep, blank football. Like, that's just what you want. You want somebody who really is going to really breathe and encompass everything when it comes to the sport. So I understand what he says there. They have to be a team player, put the team first. They have to be selfless individuals. They have to have a football IQ. And no disrespect, but if you went based off football IQ, I don't think the Raiders picked some of the players they have in recent history, especially in the first round. They have to be low maintenance, okay? They have to be low maintenance because at the end of the day, the less I have to talk to you about everything else, the more I can talk to you about football, the more we're getting better. So if you have a kid who's high maintenance with what he needs to eat, he has to be taught how to do the diet, has to be told to get in the weight room, has to be told to get the physicals, has to be told this and told that. Well, that's high maintenance. The more I have to spend time on that is the less time I'm spending on scheme and getting you ready to play the actual game. So I really understood what he was talking about there. And then he said versatility. The more things you can do, the more things we can allow you to do, the more things we trust you to do. And it's a long season. You talk about injuries and you might have to replace players. So that's what he was talking about as far as the type of person. Then what I really thought was interesting is when they talked about, do you go for need or best player available when you're drafting players? And not to my surprise, he said, we're going to take the best football players available. Because if you spend too much time and overextend yourself on what the team needs, we need a lineman, we need a backer, we need a corner, you might pass up good football players in that process to just take a guy you think is going to make you better because they're at a position you need. And he goes further on to say that if you're picking good football players, you're making the right decisions. If you're picking good football players, in the long run, your team is going to get better. So just to wrap things up, what he's looking for are football players. He's looking for passionate individuals. He's looking for high IQ individuals. He's looking for low maintenance football players. And he's also looking for the best players available. And I love that. I think this is going to be one of the best drafts the Raiders have ever had, just because it seems like they're doing the right things from the top. And we all know everything comes downhill. So when you do things right at the top, it comes down to the bottom and everything works itself out. So I'm really excited about this draft. I want you to get down in the comments and let me know what you think. If you like this type of video, if you like this type of content, and if you're a fan of the Las Vegas Raiders, subscribe to the channel. Also, hit me up on Instagram and Twitter, both at Raider Honcho. And until the next time, as always, Raider Honcho out.